An angry man walks into a Minneapolis, Minnesota Target store demanding to see the manager. When the manager arrives at the customer desk, this man has this mailer in his hand, yelling at this manager, saying to him, "Why are you sending this mailer with coupons for baby products to my teenage daughter? She's in high school. Are you encouraging her to get pregnant?" The manager has no idea what this man is talking about. Whatever this man's daughter received probably came from the marketing department, but he apologized. And he said, "Look, I'll take a look at it and I'll get back to you." 2 weeks later, he calls the man, apologizing again. But this time, the man on the other end had a more conciliatory tone towards the manager. And he says to him, "Look, I had a talk with my daughter, and as it turns out, there were some activities going on in my house that I was unaware of. Indeed, she is pregnant, and it's I who owe you an apology." This is pretty scary on how much Target knew about this girl, something very private, even before she revealed it to her father. In this talk, I'm going to focus on three things. One, why would Target want to know this? Why would they want to know whether a woman was pregnant? Second, what did they have to do to gain this insight? And three, how did they gain this insight about pregnant women? And then end with a few closing remarks. So let's start with the why. Why is pretty simple. It's profits. So these retailers like Target collect bulk load of data from consumers, shoppers, from either from loyalty cards, coupons that you redeem that they send you by email or through mail, credit cards, or online activities. From this data, they gain insight into your shopping habits. And from that, they can market to you more effectively on how you're likely to purchase. And though retailers may say that all customers are important, there's one class of customer that stands at the top. And these are pregnant women and the parents and the new parents. These are the most profitable, product hungry, price insensitive customers in existence. When you go to a store like Target to purchase baby bottles or diapers, you're more likely to purchase other items along with it. And they know it. And the facts support this. The baby products that parents purchase before the child gets to be the age of 1 is roughly about close to $7,000. And according to Disney, the baby market in North America alone is roughly approximately $37 billion. So it's very important for retailers like Target to get to these women early so they can develop a habit so that they're not even thinking when they come to your store and they just purchase items, and for them, it's a gold mine. So what do they have to do to gain this insight? So they collected data. So data just by itself can't do anything. You need to apply all kinds of analytics, statistical analytic techniques such as correlation, where you're trying to see how a particular data value moves. So let's say you have two data values, A and B. A correlation would be if A and B, how they move together kind of shows you what the statistical relationship is between these two data values. But let's suppose you only have B. Based on how B moves, you can make a pretty good strong prediction on what's happening to A, even though you can't measure A or even see A. So an example of a strong correlation where A and B move together would be something that happens during the flu season. If there are enough people in a particular town typing search words like flu-like symptoms, there's a strong likelihood that those people have flu, and then there's a flu outbreak in that town. An example of a weak correlation would be if you run correlation to, let's say, hair length to happiness, you'll find that there's no movement there. That somebody's hair gets longer doesn't mean that they're going to get more happy. So that's a weak correlation. Another interesting thing about correlation is that sometimes there could be a coincidence of a strong correlation, and this could be, quote unquote, you can be fooled by randomness that often happens. So a correlation, when you think about it, is not predicting the future. You're just saying that the probability is high that something is likely to happen. So based on the data and this technique, but you still need to have some information to kind of develop some kind of as Target called it, the pregnancy prediction score. So what they had was something interesting. They started out with a child registry. So these are the women who voluntarily provided information about when their baby was due so that Target can send them coupons for, things like prenatal vitamins, lotions, diapers, other baby products. But these are the women that opted in. But these are just a small fraction of women that are likely to opt in for something like child registry. The real goldmine are women that are not opting in, and how do you get to them early? So what they did using this information, they looked at what these women were purchasing at different stages in their pregnancy. And from that, they identified about 25 items when analyzed together, gave them a pretty good idea on where these women were in their pregnancy and even estimate their due date. So this is how, using this pregnancy prediction score that they flagged, this girl in Minneapolis, Minnesota, was more likely to be pregnant. They didn't know who she was. They probably had no idea who she was. They just went by this algorithm that she was likely to be pregnant. And even if small fraction of parents that they can identify and develop the habit, that is millions of dollars to the bottom line of a retailer like Target. So to conclude, this particular example that I talked about took place in the 2002-2003 timeframe. Today, these retailers have even more data that they're collecting. They have even more sophisticated analytical tools at their disposal and more powerful technology. So they're able to know more about us than we want others, even someone close to us, to know about it. But in some cases, they may even know more about us than even we know about ourselves. So this is kind of scary, but this is the world we're living in. Welcome to the world of big data. If you want to get more information on this talk, there are two books that I used as a reference. One is a book called Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg, and the other one is Big Data by Viktor, Mayer-Schonberger, and Kenneth Cukier.